A large part of John's Gospel is focused on the last week of Jesus' natural life, between his triumphal entry and then his crucifixion, his resurrection. That's something that we often call Passion Week. And part of that week sees Jesus having a Last Supper with his disciples the night before he's betrayed and he's taken to the cross and crucified. And he's spending time with his disciples to encourage them, to equip them, to teach them, to unpack to them the purpose of his mission, why he's come and where he's going. And in the middle of this, Jesus says that he's going to heaven to prepare a place for his disciples, but they don't quite understand. And Thomas, great character that he is, actually says to Jesus, well, we don't really understand. What do you mean? And Jesus comes out with this phrase where he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. If we begin with the way, for the Jews, the way to a relationship with God had always been through the Torah, through the law that had been given to Moses. And in Deuteronomy, there's a promise that if people follow the law, then they'll be blessed and they'll be fruitful. But the law was something that was impossible to keep. And Jesus, in coming and saying he is the way, he's literally saying, I'm the way to the Father. I'm creating a new way. And that new way is through me. I'm the one who's giving access. In other words, by dying, I'm settling the debt that was created in the garden. Once again, can we trust what Jesus says to be true? I guess the evidence is that by dying and raising again, he provided us by his actions the evidence that he could be the way. You know, the curtain that separated man from being able to go into the Holy of Holies, the presence of God in the temple, was torn in two from top to bottom, where heaven came down and created the way for humanity to be back with God. So if Jesus is the way and evidenced by his death and his resurrection, then he's also the truth, because this is evidenced by the words, by his teaching. He not only walks the walk, he talks the talk. Once again, Jesus is drawing on an Old Testament image. In Psalm 25, the Bible talks about God's law being the way to life. And for the Old Testament believers, they viewed the law as being truth. And truth is a key theme throughout John's Gospel, as he wants to present Jesus as the truth, brought into the world to counter the father of lies. Truth in our generation has become quite subjective. People think you can make truth to basically be whatever you want truth to be. It takes away a baseline, and the last time I looked, there needed to be truth. The laws of gravity are a truth. You can't override those just because we say that it's not true. And it's similar with God. There needs to be a baseline. There needs to be something from which we can build lives knowing that it's trustworthy and true. So if the way was evidenced by the actions of Jesus, and the truth was evidenced by the words of Jesus, the life was evidenced by the experience of Jesus. Remember in John 10 that Jesus said that the devil comes to steal, kill and destroy, but he's come to give life, and life to the full. Well, life on earth is, in the natural, is a very precious thing, but it is only temporary. God wants us to have a great life now. He wants to set us free from the things that hurt us and give us life, and life in all its abundance. But if we only have hope for today, then we're missing the point. But actually, this is just a foretaste. Actually, what lies ahead of us is beyond our wildest dreams. It's amazing, and something which we can only begin to scratch the surface of in the natural. You see, when we focus only on this life, we miss the point, and we end up living a life which is not life to the full, unless we appreciate that there's an eternity ahead of us. We end up loving this life more than loving the life to come. We lose some of the focus that awaits us. Jesus, by coming to be the way, the truth and the life, wants to set us free from the straitjacket that was the Torah, to be able to live a life in freedom and fullness. Jesus is making it clear that there is no other way to be able to experience this than through him. No other way to be right with God. In other words, Jesus is the source of the life through evidence.